What's going on, guys? I want to break down my Tesla trade. Currently just down to one remaining contract left in this runner. Tesla 225 calls is what I did take. I did take 10 of those options contracts. So again, if you guys have ever traded Tesla before, I don't have the largest account in the world. I'm not saying that, I've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in my account. But again, I don't also have a small account either. So 10 contracts on Tesla is like to what I normally like to play. It's what I'm comfortable with. So, I don't really feel like I need to scale up or scale down or anything on that, especially if I'm playing, options contracts off of setups that I'm pretty familiar with. So if we're looking at Tesla here, I'm looking at the 5-minute time frame. This blue box, green box down here that you see is my demand zone. So I already had this drawn out prior. Let me just kind of quickly show you. If I kind of go back in time here, this is the 1 hour time frame. A lot of area of resistance here. Once we broke above it, we did back test, held a support once, twice before we popped up again. So again, previous level of resistance turned into new area of support. A lot of buyers felt comfortable stepping in this area. That's why it became my demand zone. So just quickly to give you a brief on that. So if I kind of just scroll into today's price action and kind of zoom in a little bit so I can show you. Right off the bell, we did have a nice little spike. I tend to not try to take anything the first 5 to 10 minutes of the day just because the market can be very, very volatile. I like to let it kind of sort itself out. After we did get this initial pop here, which some people do play, I'm not completely against it. Like, for example, I can give you a perfect scenario here. If you're an experienced scalper, you could have used a 2-minute time frame. Again, for experienced scalpers only here. But if I just zoom in, if we look at right off the bell here, we got this first opening green candle here that kind of took out this pre-market level. And then we had a nice big pullback. But if we look at what we did here, we got reconfirmed the 20 period moving average, price of 227.57, and then that ran up to a price of 228.91, which is about $1.50 move in a matter of 2 minutes. Again, experienced scalpers, right? Because if you're not, then you're going to just sit here thinking that, I'm going to keep continuing to go up and up and up and up and up. The difference between when I say experienced scalpers, because I'll throw this term around a lot in Discord, experienced scalpers, that means you understand what your risk is. You understand that you're going to get in more than likely, not just with one contract or two contracts. You're going to go a little bit larger on your size. You're going to get heavy. You're looking for 50 cents, $1.50. If you can get it in 1, 2, 3 minutes, boom, you're in, you're out, you wash the trade, and it is what it is. If it doesn't work within, a matter of 2, 4, 5 minutes, you've got to get out of the trade because you're just running the risk that it can go against you. But let's get into the trade that I took, currently sitting in one remaining contract here. So we got that initial push higher again. Like I said, I've been scalping for a long time now, but sometimes either I'm looking at other charts or, I just don't like the price action of what's going on. Sometimes we open up down or we open up flat, and things don't really have a good gauge. So I like to sit out the first 5, 10, 15 minutes of the day sometimes, depending. It did present a little bit of a short setup here. You can see off that initial pop, we lost the 5-minute 20 SMA. Price was 225.64. It did confirm and go all the way down to a price of 221. This was a fantastic short setup. I did not take part of it, but as I seen us come down into my demand zone here, we almost tagged it to a T. You can see here this bottom wick tagged at 221 and some change here, tagged that. And as I started to see this little bit of reversal here, all I was waiting for was if we held this demand zone and we made this pop, okay, you can see the first candle close over the 20 SMA at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, okay? If you're familiar with the way that I trade, you know that I'm looking for this kind of setup all day long. I'm looking for change in trends. I'm looking for, trends that are starting to, what am I trying to say? I'm looking for trends that are starting to newly develop, meaning that if we're trading below the 20 SMA, I'm looking for things to kind of recover and get above the 20 SMA. If we are trading above the 20 SMA, I am looking for things to break down and now start trading below the 20 SMA. So as we bounced off of this demand zone, I seen that we did have our previous buyers, our previous support was still here. We got this close at around 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time over the 20 SMA. You can see that top wick price here was 224.88, and hence why I went with 225 calls. Again, especially if you're scalping and day trading, and especially if you're playing weekly options like I like to play, I am not going 4, 5, 6, 10 points out of the money. Okay, I'm not going to be trading an entry point here. My pivot, if my pivot is going to be 224.88, I'm not looking to trade 230 strikes on Tesla. Okay, not saying that it can't get there, but there's just too much risk for me. I want to go in the money or right at the money, and I chose to go right at the money at 225 calls. I took 10 of those. I got in here. We got that first nice confirmation candle, exploded all the way up to a price of 225.88, pulled back, consolidated, and then we get a nice run up. I always like to say, if you're going to scalp, you're looking for 2 to 3 pushes higher from your entry to start scaling out profits. So what that means is, if this is our first push higher, I'm going to take this top wick 225.93, and I'm looking for 2, 3 pushes higher, right, to get start scaling out. So as we got this candle here at 225.90s, we got our second push higher here at 226.25, and our third push higher here was at 226.65, and immediately I took off half position. Okay, so with that just being said, I'm $1.50 in the money now within a matter of 15-20 minutes. I take off half my position, I lock in those gains. Okay, I lock in those gains, and I start kind of just scaling out accordingly, and I start to trend back over again. 2 to 3 pushes higher from here. 1, 2, 3 pushes higher. I take it 227.74, and now pretty much I'm out 80% of my position. Okay, 80% of my position is now locked in, and it's in the bank. Okay, so these last 2 remaining contracts, I know that even if something goes bad, I will just break even on these contracts, meaning the initial profits that I took, I'm not going to lose. The last 2 remaining, I'm looking at it as a pure lotto, pure speculation, just letting the chart kind of work and develop. Obviously, we did come down here and we lost the 20 SMA for a brief moment in time of about 30 minutes here. Now, if we were to start breaking those last 2 remaining contracts deep into the red, obviously my entry is down here. This is where we kind of consolidated. Those contracts were coming pretty close to break even, but again, they're break even scratch contracts anyways. And then we not only push higher, confirm the 20 SMA once again and go on another run. And now I'm just down to 1 remaining contract. Last remaining contract is worth $185. Out of the 10 contracts, I did profit $1,120 on this overall play. Joe, just keep in mind, this win is only a 25% win. Okay, so I don't want everyone to kind of get caught up in, you need to make 1,000% winners, you need to make 100% winners. I took 10 contracts. 20 to 25% is still going to net you around $1,000 on that overall play. So you can get the same amount of money that you would feel satisfied with, but you have to take more contracts, or you have to increase your size, right? So you have to have confidence in your setup and confidence in your discipline and your due diligence. But what I'm saying is that you don't need to take 2 contracts and try to hit 100%, right? Because let's say, for example, those 2 contracts go to 20%, which we're at right now, currently 24.32%. They can go to 22%, 24%, and you hold those contracts thinking that they're going to go to the moon. Next thing you know, you have a bad hour candle come out, erases all those gains, and now you're sitting there just holding the bag and left losing a trade, right? Just increase your contract sizing and scale out sooner, right? So take 10 and then scale out 4, hold 2, pushes up another tick higher, take 1, hold 1, just in case, to see what happens with the rest of the chart. And obviously, as long as we're over this 20 SMA here, there's no reason for me to sell, again, with being that far in the money. But I just want to kind of outline that 22%, 25% is still a fantastic trade. 10 contracts on Tesla still net you $1,000. So hope that makes sense. If you guys are interested in joining the community so you can get around other traders who are kind of doing this and trading the way that I trade on a day in and day out basis, it also helps to kind of just pick people's brains and kind of throw your analysis out there as well. Join the community. That link is down in the description box below. My name is D. Anthony with evolutiontraders.com, and I will see you guys all on the next video.